talk about the Champions League and the results from the week. We start with a sentence I never thought I was going to say, and it's the reverse of illegal, because Young Boys beat Manchester United. They pounded them 2-1 with a red card.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird commentary situation, because I was following the Sky Sports coverage of it, and they were saying Man United have been dominating Young Boys, and I was just like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just very innuendo-y. Oh, the worst sentence in the English language. Ronaldo has put it through the legs of the Young Boys keeper. Which he did. He did not beg him. Thank you, Jacob, your boy. Yeah, he did do that, and he's done it again. That was the second nutmeg he's done on a goalkeeper. You'd have thought they'd have learnt their lesson by now. How, though, is a side managed by David Wagner beating Manchester United, the guy that was relegated with Huddersfield and was probably the worst Schalke manager in their history? Terrible manager. Fantastic result. Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. I'm blaming Aaron Wan-Bissaka for getting sent off.
I think it's that typical, once you're down to 10 men, your back's against the wall anyway, no matter who you are. I mean, not Brentford, obviously, but
yeah, but was he right to go, well, we're down to 10 men, we'll just shove everybody at the back? Because my opinion would have been, well, they're Young Boys, so just go forward and try and get a second and just go it. Why don't we flood everybody forward?
Yeah, because do you know what? I've never understood that mentality of, like, when you're down to 10 men, I get the idea, like, pull everyone back because you've got, space to cover. You've got a centre back who's now got to do twice as much work, or you've got to either bring the winger back and then cover it. But then again, when you're Man United and you're playing against a team like Young Boys, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we need to keep the pressure on, because they're a team, they're going to be the underdogs. They know they're going to be the underdogs, so they're going to be playing out of their skins. So the last thing you want to do with a team that are completely fearless and got nothing to lose, the last thing you want to do to them is invite pressure onto yourselves. So you want to keep them on the back foot, because then their tails will be up. Absolutely, the fact that now that they've actually got a shot at winning it. Hence why you've got to have a more direct forward mentality in getting your players forward, get your big attacking players forward, because then what happens is Young Boys will then try and stretch the play, long balls over the top, or trying to pass their way around the goal, keep United guessing. But if you're keeping your big players up at the top, knowing that you can hit them on a counter-attack, they're going to be very wary of Ronaldo and Sancho, and
who was substituted for Lingard. What a mistake that was.
Yeah, and I think that's a mistake as well, because, like, I think if your back's against the wall, you're going to need your best attacking players on the pitch.
And Lingard gave away the ball for the second Young Boys goal on the 95th minute as well.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what? I feel bad for Lingard in a way, because he had a good resurgence at West Ham when he was on loan there, and obviously he's getting more game time now. So I do feel bad for him in a way, because it's maybe I'm being cliche here, but obviously everyone likes a good comeback story.
Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. Wan-Bissaka with a red card, and then Young Boys equalised on the 66th minute, and it's kind of like, well, why didn't you just shove everybody forward? But that's what happened, and it finished Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. In the other game involving an English team on the Tuesday night, it finished Chelsea 1, Zenit St. Petersburg 0. Romelu Lukaku with a 69th minute goal. There you go, the insert joke there. They just absolutely dominated them, and I mean, there's nothing. They probably should have got more than a goal.
Yeah, I think Chelsea were probably more content to control the game rather than dominate it. Because obviously they fielded quite a strong team. They probably don't want them busting a gut over a team like Zenit St. Petersburg when they know they've got, Premier League matches coming up at the weekend, things that probably require more immediate attention. So, they fielded a strong team. One thing I can always praise Chelsea for, in terms of quality, they've always got such depth in their squad. Their team at the moment, they can make a substitution And you notice it with certain teams and certain players and things like that, that when a certain player comes off and another one comes on, automatically a team can feel depleted or lack something else. Chelsea, you don't feel that. You know, if you were to take off Kai Havertz and put on Mason Mount or Hakim Ziyech or something like that, you know, the quality is not lost. You know, that you've got a player that can still grab the game by the scruff of the neck and change it in different ways. You know, if you want to shut up shop, if you've got Reece James on the pitch playing a fullback, you can shut up shop and put on Azpilicueta. You know, you've got to be fair. I was really liked about that game was Rudiger's run forward. Did you see that run forward? He bombed it forward, and then obviously he fluffed his lines towards the end. But you know, what a run from a defender. So even then, even with like the midfield, if you want to take off Kante and put on Kovacic or put on like Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, you know, I would say in a couple of seasons, maybe even Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You know, these are all great depth in the squad for Chelsea to have. But yeah, they didn't need to convincingly win. I'm sure they were happy with just getting over the line, maybe a 2-0 win.
I mean, they absolutely dominated, so there was no panic or any worry for Chelsea supporters.
Yeah, it just shows the strength in the Chelsea squad, knowing that they can dominate a game, grind out, like, you know, dominate with a 1-0 win. You know, because then once you're 1-0 up, then you don't have to go all out because you know you're not up against a team that requires that. If their first game of the Champions League was, you know, if it was up against someone like, I don't know, maybe they played, you know, let's say Barca, for example, you know, maybe then they may feel about, you know, killing a game off a bit more. Obviously, you know, Bayern Munich showed that you don't really need to kill a game off against Barca. You just need to turn up.
We'll get to that one. In the other games, Juventus beat Malmo 3-0 away. That was also in Chelsea's group. The other game in Manchester United's group saw Villarreal draw with Atalanta 2-2. The game where the English referee f***ed up was Dynamo Kiev 0, Benfica 0. There was no red card in that game, but there was a red card. But there wasn't a red card. It was very confusing. It finished Sevilla 1, FC Red Bull Salzburg 1. And I suppose we better talk about the absolute calamity that was Barcelona versus Bayern Munchen. Oh my goodness. Müller, Lewandowski, and Barcelona don't even get a shot on target. This is where, right, Barcelona are an embarrassment. And do I think, though, can a mid-table team effectively beat Barcelona? Yeah, you know what? I'll go that far. I would say Aston Villa and Leeds could probably beat this Barcelona team.
The thing is that, you know, they haven't necessarily lost that much. Like, they've lost Messi and they've obviously loaned out Griezmann, fair enough. But then that's no reason why the rest of the team can't perform, you know. Obviously, Messi, you know, gets you out your seat, gets you elated, knowing that, you know, if you're a midfielder, you know, you can pop a ball forward and 9 times out of 10, Leo Messi will climb onto it. Yeah, that, you know, that brings you confidence. But then again, obviously you need ability as well. Even I think Gerard Piqué after the match said, you know, it's difficult to try and grind out a result when the whole team in front of you is just youngsters. But then again, I think you're forgetting they've still got the quality of people like Busquets. They've still got Frankie De Jong. Obviously, you've got Ousmane Dembele, who really now has got no excuse not to perform. Me and you, I think we said when he first moved, like, was a really stupid decision, saying like you move into a club where Lionel Messi plays in your strongest position.
Yeah.
You know, you're warming a bench for 150 grand a week. So now he's got all the talent in the
team.
Yeah, he's in the team. You know, so, and he's been there 3 years now. So he's really got no reason not to step up now. and be
Yeah,
that outlet. I think Real Madrid have actually got it better with their younger players who can go to the team. But so they got like Rodrigo and Vinicius and things like that. They already know that they need to step up. I think you've like they've got a solid defense. I mean, like obviously their defense is aging a bit. People like Jordi Alba and PK, but they've still got like relatively younger players by comparison, like Umtiti and Clement Longley and things like that. And they've got one of the best goalkeepers in Europe. So there's really no need for them to be conceding 3 goals against, you know, Bayern Munich. I mean, that being said, they did ship 8 of them a couple of seasons ago.
yeah, and I'm just looking at their team. I mean, they've still got, despite his poor run with Barcelona, they still have Philip Coutinho, who they were trying to offset for about 20 million euros. And who else have they got? They've still got some decent-ish players. I mean, they picked up Memphis Depay on a free, which was a good bit of business. But yeah, they are trying to rebuild, and unfortunately, this is not the year for them. Unfortunately,
I think they've got. I think they're gonna have some post Messi blues. I think. When the face of your club does step away, then obviously there is going to be a bit of a hangover for a couple of seasons. You saw it with Sir Alex Ferguson leaving Man United, Arsene Wenger leaving Arsenal. There's a hangover period that takes a bit of time to get over. Whilst you try, because you could see it in the way Barcelona played. Like they had players to build a squad around. Like if you rewind back when their front three was Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. They had players to build the squad around. Now they don't have any players to build the squad around.
yeah, they don't have that
So,
marquee name. I know what you
yeah,
where you
so
get it.
it's going to take time and good investment for them to try and rebuild their squad again. It's going to take time for them to recover their identity. What are we? You've got to take the time and put the time and put the effort into, to show and build the team and show that you're not, Leo Messi FC and things like that.
Yeah, I agree, but I remember the Barcelona team before they signed Ronaldinho, and they were kind of meh. They were there, but meh. They were just meh. Real Madrid just spanked them every year, and I imagine that's going to be happening for a long time. And Jacoby Boy says Pedri and Depay and Ter Stegen are probably the best Barca players right now, but that's a big downgrade, as you were saying, with Messi, Suarez, and Neymar at their best. But here's the thing: Barcelona are going to be. I love the fact that Barcelona are right now. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving every minute of it. Now, if Real Madrid can do the same thing and get rid of a fake news President Perez, then I would love that to happen as well.
Yeah, there's some kind. I agree with you. Like, do you know what? There's some kind of justice when a club like that almost has to experience what it's like to be other teams. Where when you with like an arrogance, like you're going in with the idea of winning every. Like I love to see PSG do it, and I love watching PSG flounder in Europe every season because it's like, yes, you win the French league, but
not last year. Hey, what's that?
Yeah,
Bill?
it's like what's next for you. You can it's like sex. You get it up, but you can't finish.
Speaking of PSG, we'll get to their result. In fact, we'll save the best till last. We won't. That's not PSG, by the way. Inter Milan lost to Real Madrid in a game that was. I was watching it. It was proper end-to-end stuff, but Rodrigo eventually got the goal in the 89th minute to give Real Madrid the lead in that one. So Real Madrid. Yeah, it was end-to-end stuff in that one. Inter Milan got 18 shots. Real Madrid got 12. Real Madrid still have a bloody good team. Unlike Barcelona, they have a better team. And the fact is, they've got a manager that will actually use Gareth Bale, who did not play midweek, by the way, but to disprove my point, but they have got some very good players. So they should be. Are they my favourites, or is Atleti still? No, Atleti are still my favourites for the Spanish league title this season. But wait until Carlo Ancelotti becomes available again in the summer, when Perez decides, oh, you're not good enough because you didn't win the league, and look at the quality that Atleti have. What else? Ajax absolutely thrashed Sporting Club in Lisbon by 5-1. Allier with 4 goals. Sebastian Allier with the 4 goals in that game. He is the only player to score 4 goals on his Champions League debut. Jeez, this kid, Sebastian Allier, is just something else. To be fair, the Sporting defence was absolutely pants. They failed to take the right decision. I can't even say it. They failed to mark up properly. They left holes in their defence. But this is a player that scored 10 goals in 48 games for West Ham, and he's already scored 15 in 23 for Ajax.
Do you know what I do? I've got to say, I do like Ajax. I must say, I do like their team. I like their fan base. I like the culture they put around the club. So I've got a soft spot for Ajax in the Dutch league. I don't know what it is. They just seem to be able to bring the best out of nothing players. You managed to turn Daley Blind into a solid centre back after he couldn't even get a game at United. So how they managed to turn that around was amazing. They've done the same with Allaire now, it seems, as well. The problem is the fact that once you get a player like that who's been to the best league in the world, the Premier League, has to drop down because he's not getting the game time. Maybe in a season or two he gets a knock on the door from someone a little bit bigger in Europe, maybe like maybe an Inter or a Borussia Dortmund. They're gonna need someone of a similar stature to try and replace Haaland when he does inevitably go to a bigger club. I think you and I can all agree with the sentiment that places like Real Madrid and Barcelona are no longer the pinnacles of European football that everyone aspires to go play for.
No, I think if I was given the choice, I'd go to Bayern.
I'd go to Bayern.
And I'm an 1860 Munchen fan. I support their city rivals, and I still go to Bayern. It just makes the most amount of sense to me. Bayern or PSG. I'd rather sit on the bench at PSG and get paid loads than play for Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Do you know what? I'd even take my chances in the Dutch league playing for Ajax. I'd love that. The Johan Cruyff Arena.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it'd be fun. Wait till they sign Donny van der Beek back from Manchester United on a free transfer once he gets released. Because has he actually ever played for Manchester United? Apparently, he's played 20 times. I've never seen him play once. Why did they sign him?
I don't know. But it was in that transfer window where the Man United fans were like,
he played 45 minutes against Young Boys, apparently.
Yeah, but it was bought in that transfer window where the Manchester United fans were just started to turn on the Glaziers. Where you have at the start of the transfer window, they were all excited about the prospect of Jadon Sancho arriving, and they got Van der Beek and Cavani.
Although Cavani was a good signing, Van der Beek not so much, but Cavani was a very. He was essentially bought by the Glaziers just to show the fans that they are active in the transfer market. Here you go. Here's your signing. Now shut the fuck up. That's what it was. In the other games in the Champions League, then we have got Manchester City beating RB Leipzig, who have got off to a pretty poor start under their new manager Jesse Marsch in the Bundesliga. They're kind of mid-table-ish, they are mid-table. And in this game, every time Leipzig scored and tried to come back, they then shot themselves in the foot defensively. And it finished Manchester City 6, Leipzig 3. Leipzig did get a red card and got sent down to 10 men, but by that time it was already over anyway.
Mm.
I don't see Jesse Marsch lasting the season at Leipzig. I see him Red Bull getting very impatient with him and getting rid of him. But that's never been the Red Bull way. They've always supported people, and because the Leipzig manager is a part of the Red Bull system, which I hate saying, by the way, but that's what Red Bull do. They have structures where they've got an American club, an Austrian club, a German club, a Brazilian club. I mean, Manchester City do it as well, but to a lesser extent. Well, actually, no. Do they do it to a lesser extent? No, they don't. They do it to the exact same extent with New York City FC, Melbourne FC, and Yokohama Mariners as well, who were managed by the current Celtic manager. But RB Leipzig, I don't expect their manager to last till the end of the season, but that's just pure speculation. But they lost 6-3. Jack Grealish. Oh God, I keep saying his name wrong. Getting a very good goal in that one. The better game to watch, I think, was Liverpool 3, AC Milan 2, where AC Milan had like 48 seconds where they were just the best team on the planet, because they equalised with Rebic and then scored again less than 2 minutes later with Diaz, and they were 1-0 down, and then suddenly they were 2-1 up, and it felt like you know what it felt like? It felt like a good old European match from like 2005, 2006 with Liverpool AC Milan at Anfield.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where, like, you know, it was hardly Istanbul 2005, but it was an entertaining game. Like, Jordan Henderson, what a strike!
Oh yeah, he hits it against the ball. He hits the ball against the floor, kind of I don't know whether he deliberately meant to do that, but it just bobbled its way into the goal. Well, that's an insult to the strike, but it was a better strike than it just bobbling into the goal. But it was good. It was good. But he strikes the ball against the ground. I don't know whether that was intentional or not. I'm sure he came out and went, well, with my years of experience, you can damn well bet it was intentional. But actually, if a kid did it, it'd be like, no, completely unintentional.
I mean, with that kind of goal, the type of accuracy and power on it, it does, you know, that Martin Tyler's voice screaming Gerrard in the back of my head does appear. Gerrard.
3-2 it finished. Henderson with the goal in the 69th minute and Mo Salah with the equaliser in the 48th minute. But for a time, AC Milan, for like 2 minutes there, they were the best team in Europe. For 2 minutes. Just for 2 minutes. It was fantastic to watch. Good win for Liverpool. Atletico Madrid 0, Porto 0. I mean, there's not much to look at there. Besiktas 1, Borussia Dortmund 2. That's a good win for Borussia Dortmund. That was a difficult fixture, but they got through it. Good win. They'll probably go on to win that. Will they win that group, or will Ajax? You know what? I'm changing my mind. I think Ajax will finish above Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ajax might just spoil them.
The thing is that Borussia Dortmund, they score a lot of goals, but they also concede a lot as well.
And they struggled last season away in the Champions League, so just like Manchester United. The big shock was not Young Boys beating Manchester United. It was Club Brugge getting a 1-1 draw against Paris Saint-Germain. This is, and by the way, before anyone goes, well, they probably didn't play their strongest team, Paris Saint-Germain. They had Messi, they had Neymar, they had Mbappe. They should have thrashed them 6-0 and didn't. Yeah,
and do you know what? I think it shows a more inherent problem at PSG that, you know, you can sign one of the greatest players to ever, you know, grace a football pitch and still, you know, churn out an average result.
Yeah.
I mean, how many? It's, you know, it's expected of PSG now to be like, you know, they have all the potential, the star power, the commercial success, and things like that, but on the pitch, the results are truly not reflective of the stature of the club in terms of financing commercial power. And you've seen it so many times before, and I'm afraid that, you know, this season it'll happen again. Like the last couple of seasons, PSG in Europe, or PSG anywhere really, you see it where you got a team full of superstars, the arrogance of them all is at an all-time high. You know, their backs could be against the wall. They could be losing a game. They're 1-0, 2-0 down, 2-1 down, you know, and then a rash decision just takes that game away from them. Like PSG pick up red cards like it's nobody's business,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
just.
and it's you,
Sorry, go on.
and it's these and what it's basically down to these superstars whose, you know, whose arrogance and confidence have been dented, you know, by how the game has turned out, and then it all just comes to a head.
It reminds me a little bit of the original Galacticos at Real Madrid and how they kind of, it's perceived that they didn't really do anything there, that because it was Barcelona's domination at that point, and that they were really just scrapping for second place, and you had players like, you know, Ronaldo, Zizou, Figo, Owen, Robinho, Sergio Ramos, Raul, Iker Casillas, Makalele, Roberto Carlos. You had all those players, and they still didn't really do anything. They won the odd league title here and there, but really that Galacticos era cannot be considered successful given how much money Real Madrid spent. And it kind of, I know they didn't spend anything on Messi, PSG, but it kind of reminds me of the same thing. You know, they've got Mbappe, they've got Neymar, they've got Messi, they've got Di Maria still, they've got Icardi, they've got Draxler, they've got who else? Wijnaldum, they've got Sergio Ramos. It just reminds me that they're building go on. Donnarumma, yes. And although he didn't start in the Champions League against Club Brugge, but they've got all these teams of quite very good players, and it just feels like if you cannot beat Club Brugge with a front three of Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, you're not beating Leipzig and you're not beating City.
Yeah, do you know what? I honestly, I'm glad I'm not a betting man, because I would put money on PSG not getting out of the group.
Yeah, I think they might finish third in this group, and I was originally, I'd put them top of the group based on the fact they had Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, Di Maria, Ramos, and all the players I've just painstakingly listed. And I'd have thought they'd have just smashed their way. Even Man City, they'd have smashed them. But no, apparently not. And I think if Poch fails at PSG to win the Champions League this year, I've said it before, that's his time at the top level of football management over.
Yeah, that would be the yardstick for you know, we know the Champions League is the measuring stick for any PSG manager. You know, it just goes to show, like, it's got to be the right group of players with the right attitude and the right mentality. Like, you know, PSG ditched Thomas Tuchel after he couldn't win the Champions League for them, and he just goes off and wins it at Chelsea in his first season, not even his first full season.
Yeah. Jacoby Boy points out you can't get Spurs into a Champions League final and not do the same with that PSG squad. That is, that's the point, isn't it? You know.
Do you know what that is music to my ears? There, someone shitting on. Oh my goodness! Oh.
Everyone just loves it. When the best player on the pitch is an ex-Celtic player and Jack Hendry, then you know PSG have a problem. Any more to add, or shall I go into my favorite club?
Go for your favorite club,
guys. It's come to that point. Group D. We return to the Champions League. Group D this time. For I shot the Sheriff Tiraspol. They beat Shakhtar Donetsk 2-0. Traore with the goal on the 16th minute. And Jan Sane with the 62nd minute goal, meaning I shot the Sheriff Tiraspol are above Real Madrid in this group. I don't know how this has happened. I expected Shakhtar. I mean, I shot the Sheriff Tiraspol, nice name and everything. I expected them to get absolutely trounced in this group, but no. They have beaten Shakhtar Donetsk, who last season beat Real Madrid. So by proxy, does that mean Sheriff Tiraspol have beaten Real Madrid? Well, they'll get their opportunity to at home. they're top of the group on goal difference, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.